Oh my goodness, I am talking, but my intro is still going. Man, I'm being a rebel right now. But then again, there's no more music after listening to your guys' feedback from the first talk series. Same difference. So yeah, from now on, it's gonna be mostly my naturally bored sounding voice. This week's been pretty busy, so right now I'm just doing some wood cutting. Other than that, I've been rune crafting for the most part. Got over 20 million XP in it. So the only skill I have left is attack to get 20 million plus XP. Alright. So lately I've been hearing a lot about the discussion of opening pre-evolution of combat servers, particularly version 2006, 2008, or 2010, because a lot of people are complaining that the evolution of combat is uncalled for and that they prefer the old combat system better because of PKing or just the simplicity of it, and that it makes RuneScape what it is, which I can agree on. And people who play mainly to PK would be the most affected by the update because it makes it a totally new game for them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not siding with the evolution of combat, but I do think the old combat system has its limitations. I don't have much enthusiasm for PKing. I did PK when I was free to play, but that was because it seemed to be the only fun purpose back in the days, and it was quite a while before I ever became a member. Believe it or not, my account started out as a peer. So the combat system for PKing before the evolution of combat, well, I generally see it as a guessing game. I don't see too much legitimacy from it. Like, I can see skill in, like, hybriding and just switching your prayers and stuff fast, but, you never have, like, a strategic point A to point B to point C to how you're gonna take out your enemy in like an outsmart kind of way. Like sometimes you can outsmart and like kind of fool your opponent, but all in all, you have to rely on luck. Like when you raise your strength level, it just widens the range of the amount of damage you can hit on certain weapons, and you can't expect like a good hit every time, and most of the time you just gotta calculate like, is he gonna hit high enough on me? Should I eat now? It's just all random to me. For instance, if you hit a 380 and killed your opponent, 38 back in the days, but would you be like, I outsmarted you. It was all according to plan. No, it would be more like, sweet, I got a large hit and I just killed the noob or something like that. I mean, that's not really skill. That's just your weapon happening to provide a good damage for you, and I don't really think you expect that for the most part. The main point is that I don't like the inconsistency of it, how everything is just kind of a gamble of random hits, and that you rage on things that aren't really your fault, such as hitting a 0 with your AGS spec when you got your opponent down to his last 100 health. That's kind of like an uncontrollable fail. The evolution of combat PKing, on the other hand, which I don't really know too much about, but it seems like you have more of a fighting chance with like more life points and all that, but it seems to take away the variety. Like you can't hybrid, and you just gotta fight on whatever you're wearing, and everyone's probably gonna use the same abilities except different order. I just don't see how it adds more skill just to spam abilities. Referring back to the old combat system and its limitations, basically if they would have kept the old combat system and dry gore weapons came out and then 95 plus attack weapons later on, I feel like PKing will become even more ridiculously random with people having rapier speed weapons that hit 500 or 600 accurately, and it will be really overpowered to those who actually use it. And then with the 990 health limit, it just like it just makes PKing just kind of like an instant fight later on, and there's no point in healing unless they release something like whale sharks, which would be kind of crazy. But back to the point of pre-evolution of combat servers. As far as whether it will be released or not, I don't know. It's kind of like a 50-50 at this point. I'm fine with the way things are. I feel like Jadex, why they might debate on it is because it might be a hurt on their pride that they thought evolution of combat was gonna be best for the well-being of the game for the much later years, but they a lot of the players disapprove of it. It's kind of like you play the guitar and then you switch to the electric guitar and you really like the rock and roll sound, but your parents are like, "Oh, what are you doing? You were much better back then when you were playing the classical guitar. What's up with these loud, shrieky metal noises? It's like you were much better back then." I mean, you gotta admit that is kind of that would bother me, but yeah, as expected from Jadex, I guess. Like, basically, if they were to release the pre-evolution of combat servers, say 2006, and if everyone happens to start over with like nothing in their bank, which I think would be the fair way, because there's some skills that they didn't have back then, it would just be kind of weird to transfer your money and like your stats because it's already an unfair advantage. And those people who just started playing, maybe they want to play the old version. It's just much harder to level your skills and all that. So I don't think, if anything, everyone's gonna start over. But you gotta realize that it's not gonna be exactly the same. It may be similar, but there's just that feel to it, or something that Jadex put that you probably don't like at all. So I really don't think this is gonna. It may have some good lead to it. I mean, I wish it does, but based on experience, you should know when it comes to a 100% effective update, Jetix often goes 200% or 50%, often nerfing things and then unnerfing things later, which seems to be happening a lot recently. And with the pre-evolution of combat servers, they're going to have to do a lot of testing, and they're still trying to work out evolution of combat as it is. If pre-evolution of combat becomes really successful, most likely gold farmers are going to start entering the game. And if Jadex can't deal with the bots in the current game, what makes you think they'll be able to deal with the bots in the pre-evolution of combat servers? Not to mention trading scams between servers and loss of legitimacy if bots do take over the pre-evolution of combat servers. But what I think made RuneScape very popular back in 2006 or so was because the community was really social and people didn't take things too seriously. Like, you logged out within 90 seconds rather than 5 minutes now, so most people playing would be paying attention, and everyone was at your scale of level, like level 60, and the skill was pretty impressive already. Like, my real life friend who started getting back into the game, I've watched him play from his point of view, and like, no one really talks or communicates anymore. It's just kind of do your own thing because all the skills are really easy in AFK now. So that's kind of what I think, and yeah, you can let me know what you think, and we'll just see what the future of RuneScape holds. Alright, see ya.